All right. Getting set up here. Trying to get my chats in order. Let's go. Live on TikTok. Drawing the VeeFriends comic strip. Live on all the channels. All VeeFriends channels. Should be live. Let's just make sure. Indeed. Only thing we're having trouble with again is the Instagram. Let me add the Instagram real quick again. It's always kind of, finicky. Sending data, unable to connect. All right, let's do it again. Let's just go live video, drawing comics, public. Trying to get us live on Instagram too at the same time. Let's try it. Try it again. Going to be drawing the comic strip live. This week we're talking about generosity. So we've got Generous Gerbil in the strip that I'm drawing today. Add channel. Let's see if this works. If not, we're just going to leave it and get your drawing here. Save. Let's go. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes to go live on Instagram. We'll check back. Morning, everybody. Green Dog. Ebenezer over on. Okay, here comes Instagram. Great. A couple minutes of getting set up here. Instagram's always kind of last in line. Got to get my TikTok chat up. We're live on TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, X. We're live everywhere. I'm DJ, the cartoonist here at VeeFriends. This is Comics and Coffee. I'm going to be drawing the comic strip that you see here today. This is the VeeFriends daily comic strip. I got all my chats in front of me. You can see how I'm doing it here. I got this chat for Instagram. Hello, Instagram. I got TikTok chat there. And I got everybody else way over there. So I can just kind of monitor everything while I'm drawing. And so feel free to say hello. Morning, we'll have Gary V at my event, end of 2024. Jeff the Entrepreneur. That's cool. Lauren Gogo, my son is a comic book illustrator. What kind of comics does he draw, Lauren? Over here on Instagram. Wow, I love it. Hey, Jeff. Thanks for watching. All right, cool. Draw me. Maybe we'll do a stream like that sometime where I'm just drawing people or something. What's up, Swaggy Mamba? Getting set up here. A couple minutes late just because technical difficulties with the the setup. But getting into this comic here for today. I already kind of did a rough layout of what this is, but I'm just gonna kind of tighten up the pencils a little bit. This is Generous Gerbil. If you're new to VeeFriends, it's over 280 characters. Let's just kick that off right now. We got 89 new people watching. We can go into VeeFriends.com. You got the compete and collect trading cards. We got the all kinds of stuff. The children's book is available pre-order. That's coming out real soon. We got the minis. Oh, I forgot to put my mini on. Let's just go ahead and grab one from over here. We'll do the Bad Intentions Rabbit. He's just sitting there waiting. So I'm going to put him on. These are the minis. You can actually find these vending machines. Pretty much every state. There's a map here, but they're fun to collect, 50 cents or whatever. They make cool pencil toppers. People will ask you where you get them. We also have all the characters here. So if you go to characters, you can hit all the characters. You can kind of go in and see all the 280 different characters. You can click, like, let's hit Arbitraging Admiral here. We can click his profile, and then you're also able to see the comics that he appears in on the website in that little comic corner. And we have Comic Corner up here in the top corner. So if you want to click that, you can actually go in and see all of the comics in an archive. Hey, it's May 1st. I can't believe that it's May 1st right now. So that's insane. Let's take a look at today's comic before I jump into drawing this one. Let's take a look at May's comic. All right, you see I got a lot of comics cooking here. I'll go back one step into April. So I had to make a new bucket for the April to May strips. So yesterday was Generosity Shop. Hope that you like that idea and that comic. It's just so crazy. It might just work. We got YOLO Yak making his first appearance in the comic. The hover cam, maybe that's the last time, I swear, that was just a device being used for that week. But that's the last time we might see the hover cam for a while. So I know people are getting sick of that. So I hear you. Today's comic. And I'll kind of talk a little bit about where this came from. So here we see, by the way, a little background on this guy. I pulled this guy from the very first comic that I did, January, whatever. Let's go back and look. Just want to show you. The airport comic. It's the same dude from the airport comic. So if you go back to January 2nd or 3rd, I don't know what it is on the archive, you can look at this one. This was one of the first VeeFriends comics that I drew. And it featured all the birds, or a lot of the birds, not all the birds, but so this guy got kind of woken up from being rude. And I just kind of wanted to revisit these people a little bit. So I plucked him out of the the archive and kind of just brought him back here. I think it's good that instead of just showing people, we show the people evolving too with the characters. So here he's trying to sell this social growth hack secrets, $19, and he's got 0 sales. And Generous Gerbil's like, well, if it's so great, why not give it away for free? And this is something that Gary talks about too. Why are you hoarding all of your, information if you, that's kind of the idea. So free, are you crazy? And then he's like, well, what's crazy is when you help others first, real success often follows. And it's really hard. We'll talk about that in a second. But, what do you got to lose? If you got 0 sales, why not try it? Why not try giving your best stuff away for free? And he's like, okay, fine, let's try it your way. And then I just, I had to, this was a really fun, I was just drawing and I'm like, you know what? He's got his hands in the air. What's he saying? Let's freaking go. And he's like, boop, there, it's free now. And then I wanted to have that transition to a crazy thing happening. So his computer's on fire with all of the inbox for signups for speaker requests and all that. So I've kind of found this to be true in my own personal life too, because a lot of artists will hoard their secrets or whatever, and you want to put it a $20 ebook or something like that. But then the more I started talking freely about the advice that I knew on YouTube and things like that, actually the more my brush packs and things like that would sell, because people trust you. They try what you're saying. Anyways, the joke here is don't panic. It's only a metaphorical fire. So, so that's today's comic. Hope you enjoy that. Let me check the comments real quick. I see some comments over there happening. Hey, thanks for digging the strip. I'm using Procreate on an iPad Pro to draw, just so you know. These are an awesome format. Also, if you're reading the comics, let me know what you like most about the comics. We'll talk a little bit about that today. So if you hang out, I like to kind of poll people in the chats, and I like to just kind of see what you're up, how you're digging things, what what you like to see more of. Do you want to see like funnier stuff? Do you want to see like more deep? What kind of comics do you dig? Like to see it. Hey, Pudge TV over on X. VeeFriends for the win, or yeah, Procreate is great. That's right. I want to see Giraffe be the bigger person together. LOL. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, awesome. I don't see the. I might be missing the other chat. What do you do with these full time? I draw them full time. Baby corn guy over on TikTok. What do I do with these full time? We put them everywhere on VeeFriends social. So here we can see. Oh, I'm not drawing that one. I'm drawing this one today. So yeah, I kind of, on these streams, if you're new, I kind of talk about the art process a little bit as I'm drawing, but also a little bit about the character. So in this case, there's over 280 characters. This is Generous Gerbil. So we talk about generosity and the idea that, he's carrying money bags in his character profile picture. And we don't really want to focus on generosity being just about having money or getting money. There's a lot of different ways that you can be generous with your time, with your knowledge. So we try to explore a little bit about that. Being kind. So that's one thing about the VeeFriends is, generosity by itself isn't enough. It's also part of being kind. So being generous and kind, and they're very similar, right? But sometimes you could be generous and not for the right reasons. Like you're giving, but you're expecting to receive something. So that's something to think about. Like we dwell on these things a lot when we're thinking about the characters and, how they play how you play in the real world, and how these elements. Abdullah is fighting against the lies which affected our consciousness. I hear you, Abdullah. You just got to not listen to those lies, my friend. Just got to bust through them. What else we got over here? Yeah, this is Procreate I'm drawing in. I get that a lot. It's one of the biggest questions about how am I drawing this? I'm drawing this in Procreate, but really, it's not it's not a magical program that draws. It's the actual hand, drawing this. It's just these are the tools that we're using. The tools make it a little bit easier, and there's some benefits to it, but you don't need these fancy tools to draw comics or make things. It is cool though. I wouldn't give up my iPad for anything right now. I even mimic, my pencil brushes and stuff like that to kind of really be similar to how I would normally draw on paper or something. But I'm trying to get to be more, not completely paperless, but Anyways, generosity. His head's a little long here. Let's just shorten this up a little bit. Just gonna redraw it. That rough sketch is really fast and loose, so sometimes it gets a little out of sorts. Christina Hazard said, there were 2 comic stickers given away on the Fanatics live stream yesterday, and I wanted to win so bad. Were they signed, Christina? Let me go over here real quick. I missed that part of the stream, but I saw people mentioning it. So the reason I'm bringing this up is now that Christina was the first to mention it, I have these. Um, I have some comic stickers here of the different versions to give away. So I don't know how I'm going to give them away that yet. Christina, I asked if the ones they were giving away on the stream yesterday were they signed. I didn't get a chance to ask anyone. Going back to TikTok. All right. Signed for sure. Everyone wanted those. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah. And without giving too much away, we're going to be, doing a few more. And I have some here to give away, so I can sign them from my side. I don't know if Gary signed them. I know I signed a few up there for Adam when I was there, and I'll be up there next week too in New York for a couple days, so I'm probably do some more things. And we got some cool other things coming for the comic, but those are definitely the first, super stickers of comics, I guess. I don't know what we're calling them. I'm sorry, my brain's a little not in that mode. Dog Mama, okay. Just my signature, okay. Yeah, I guess the holy grail would be if you could get Gary to sign, especially the airport comic and the very first one we did. The first one that we ever did together on the stream was this one. I forgot to change my view on the other camera here. Can you see that on TikTok? There we go. Cool. Yep. So I've got a few of these. I'm going to think about how to give them away, or what the best way to give them away is. I don't really have a plan for that. The plan is to draw comics on the stream, but I do have some cool things to give away. Maybe tell me why you want it. Why you want it so badly. That might be fun. But Christina, since you were the first to mention it, if you send me a DM to @DJ Kaufman with your permission and your address, like over on X, probably, or find me, or I'm DJ.Kaufman. I wish I could have just shortened my name on VeeFriends email. I'm going to ask dj@veefriends.com. I'm curious, for those listening right now, and I only have a few, if you want one of those signed, take the initiative. Send me your address. Also tell me why why you want that. What's important about VeeFriends for you. That's the kickoff offer here. There's only 212 people watching, so that's I'm going to erase that now. So if you caught it, you caught it, and it's a limited time. I probably only have a handful to give away, but I'm curious if you're that into this. It's such a young brand and a young audience, and I really appreciate people wanting to collect things. I owe some people some things too. I got some sketch cards to do. I know, Steve, I haven't sent yours over across the pond yet. It's in my to-do list, I promise you. I want to do it all, So my wife tells me, and it's true, that I have a delusional relationship with time. So all patience, though. Be a patient panda, and everything will come. So yeah, that was cool. I saw that yesterday. I saw someone mentioning the comic stickers, and we got a lot of other things coming too for the comics in the future. Stay tuned for that. In a lot of ways, we're just kind of getting cooking here. So I'm glad to hear that went off well. Okay, I don't know what that means. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Thanks for watching and hanging out. There's a card for that. Poor relationship with time. Yeah, I've got some comics about poor relationship with time for sure. I drew those. Yeah. What else we got? I'm just trying to not miss some of the messages here. Instagram's a little tricky to try because there's like thousands of people popping in and out, and it kind of fills the feed. So I'm going to scan back occasionally, look up. Yeah, comics. Beyond comics being a nice little escape, you know, like I don't know. I'm really on about comics lately. You know, I can yammer about comics, and I put that thread up on X where I was just like, I don't know where the people are in comics that are talking about comics outside of comics. If that makes any sense, what I'm saying. It feels like there used to be more people talking about the benefit of the comics medium, comic strips, comic books. It's good for literacy. I mean, there's so many. It's a great way to tell your story across a few panels, and I think that's a challenge to storytellers. But they're better stories when you can tell them in a smaller portion of time, or like if you have a visual that's communicating some kind of message to the reader, to the viewer. It kind of transcends language. It transcends the spoon-fed like video or animation. I love animation. I love video. It just takes so long to produce that. And I think the cool thing about comics for me is that the reader, the viewer, you, the fans, can really take part in a comic in a different way, because a lot of it's happening in your imagination. I'm not telling you like this is how you need to see something, or you might not see what happens between the panels, but it happened in your brain like in milliseconds, which is cool. You know, I'm gonna draw this lady. I'm gonna draw. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it's good to take the lady from that strip too. Now that we did the guy from the airport strip, and scroll back and find our dude. Like, here's what I'm doing here. I'll just show you guys. I'm kind of just scanning through my scanning through the comics real quick. Where are we at? Come on. I'm looking at too many screens. There we go. She's not very detailed there, but there's a barista in that comic, so I might just bring her back a little bit, or you know, maybe it's just her in spirit. I don't know. Let's see how that goes. TikTok, is that okay? All right. Hi again over on Instagram. God, I got the TikTok way too close to my mouth. Face, okay. Shouldn't move the camera, DJ. You should just keep it where it goes. The hands aren't even really that necessary to show, but on TikTok, that's the only view that you get. It's lagging on Facebook. Uh-oh. Let me try something real quick. Might blip a second. Let's see. I know there's a little bit of a delay on some of the channels, but okay, back to this girl here. She has regular old eyes. Sometimes I draw the dot eyes. They're just basically pupils without the white. And then I can use when I'm using expressions, then I can like make the eyes get really animated, excited. And in this case, I do need her to kind of get emotional a little bit and like worried. So like there's going to be some different looks here for this character. Maybe it's not the same girl from the airport, it doesn't have to be. Give her a nice... I hate these old headphones when you get them at work jobs, by the way, like these really bad like Radio Shack cheapy headphones. You know what I'm talking about? It's her sister, that's right. They're all related. And then in the future, if you're paying attention, maybe like they mentioned, like my sister works at a telemarketing job, or something. I don't really need her to be like a full body. Like I'm overthinking the body shape there. So I just need to into something that would be like a basic shape. She's obviously on a computer. Maybe I'll put the computer here in the foreground. I don't know. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. A little more of like a bigger scoop kind of neck sort of thing. I got to kind of decide in that first panel, what a character is wearing, what it's going to be. It's not the most exciting part of drawing the comic, but I just wanted to have like a ponytail, hair pulled back, it's tucked up. I'm not going to think about the hair color really yet. It's not really that important. Just so I get a nice... See, I shouldn't do that. Like, I shouldn't completely keep redrawing things. Sometimes I do that. But I want it to feel right to me. Especially if I'm going to redraw parts of this in a moment. I don't think she looks excited in this panel. Like, she is not supposed to look too excited. It's just like the opening conversation of like, maybe she even looks like a little bit like bored and not smiling, just kind of like she's just like a drone, So I'm talking out those emotions as I'm drawing them. I think that kind of helps cartoonists. You're kind of molding it like clay. People will tell me over the years, like, you're really good at like expressions on cartoons, and here I am just talking out loud about how I'm thinking about what she's saying here. She's obviously at a job that's probably not too great, so she's kind of like, great, another sales call, trying to sell something, and she's expecting 1,000 no's, and she gets this jolly little fellow. Really what she's wearing is kind of inconsequential. You just put a little bit of something there. I don't like that. Tangents are when lines intersect. I hate that. I hate when I do that. So your eye just automatically jumps to those tangents, and all right, so I can just extend the screen and have that going into that. Little art things, I don't expect anyone to know what I'm talking about. Artists, if you're watching. Tricks of the trade. That's right, Paul. You can kind of see what I'm saying. Like an editor, usually young in your career or something, an editor will point it out and go like, "Oh, you got a tangent there. You got to watch your tangents." And you're like, "I'm the best ever. Don't you tell me what to do, editor. I'll do what I want." And then you're like, "Oh, you're right." So okay, cool. It kind of captured like just a indifferent cog in the machine look. Not sad, not whatever. Just kind of going through the script. And he's like, "Yeah, let's go." And people are really interested in what I'm drawing with. This is an iPad Pro. The app is called Procreate. I'm using an Apple Pencil. The real secret is these VeeFriends minis. They make me draw better. If you get these VeeFriends minis on your pencil, you'll magically draw better. Did you know that? Don't take advice from a cartoonist. Don't do it. I'm kidding around. Nothing makes you magically draw better. I always want to mess with kids. I did that once at a show. I was like, kids were, a young kid will come up and be like, "What pencils are you using? What markers are you using?" And of course, professionals will always say like, "Oh, it doesn't matter what tools," which isn't necessarily true. Everybody wants to have nice tools, and it energizes you and excites you and that. But I always want to mess with the kids. I did it one time. I was like, "Yeah, these pens really make me draw better." And like I had the kid going for a while. He was like writing down in his little notebook, and I just kept doing it. I was like, "Oh man, he's really falling for it." And then I'm going to tell him at the end, like, "No, it's not the tools, kid. It's." And my wife was there, and she's like, "Stop it, stop messing with the kid." I'm like, I'm going to tell him. Got to be, keeps it keeps it interesting when you're, It's like he's not gonna be mad. You wouldn't think. See what I'm doing here is I'm splitting this panel. We did a similar strip like this with the telephone before, and haven't done one in a while, so we're just revisiting this format of two people talking on a phone. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting the panel in half. That's kind of what's up. That's what's up. I'll try not to get too quiet. When you hear me go quiet, it's because I'm getting real deep into what we call the zone, like the flow state. Usually about 20 minutes in. That's normal. I'm at 30 minutes working right now. Not fully drawing yet. But once I start drawing for like 20, 30 minutes, you kind of go into that zone. I've trained myself to kind of talk out loud while I'm doing it. And it's nice to peek up and see like what's going on, what's going on Instagram. Really enjoy the Instagram, folks. I hope you go, and if you're watching this comic, I hope you go check out today's comic and like it. It's one of the missions that we're trying to do is like the more you like something, the more it's going to help spread the characters. And the topic this week is generosity, and it's more than just money. Generosity is also a kindness, your time. I think I was going to ink that. No, I'm gonna go ahead and just pencil over here a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead and get to my pencil layer. Would be great. We'll redarken him up. Same situation here, so I just want to kind of copy. I'm just going to copy the whole girl here. I'm going to swipe down. First, I copy paste. I want to move her over, and I don't like to do that. I don't like to copy paste the same thing and just change just the faces. I don't really like to do that too much because then I think it looks kind of static and boring. Oh, let's go back. So what I'm going to do is I am going to fade her out. I just wanted to get where the computer screen was because I do want that to be a set look. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of erase her head. I'm not going to do that cheap. Let's just change the eyes, and because I want to capture just where her body shape is for sure. And then go back to my pencil layer. And now I at least captured something that I wanted inside of the rough sketch that I did. I'm not going to pencil completely over that, although I could. So I think like she's kind of now she's turning her head this way and her eyes are a little bit bigger. So I kind of want to look and see, like, I want to see both at the same time. I'm not worried about her ears because she's got the muffs on, the headphones on. I'm just going to draw that side. I'm going to move the head as soon as I get the face, the expression captured. Sometimes I'll capture that expression in a really quick sketch. I just gotta like adjust the nose. And I know what she's saying here, so she's like, actually, he's like, do you get commission on those? She's like, well, actually, I do. She's never had anyone ask her that before. So her eyes are big now. That's a little weird looking. Oh, she's almost looking directly at the reader. You don't really want to do that either. So I kind of want to maybe just have her like peering away from the, like maybe looking up this way. That's what I'm kind of going for, I think, now. And now the expression is kind of changed, like surprised and curious sort of thing. Get away with like just a couple lines can really make a difference in the expressions. Morning, hot tomboy over on Twitch. What else we got going on? Hello over on Swish Dreams. Just shared the liked the live, shared it. Thanks for watching over there on TikTok. Appreciate you. Cam Stu 555. Is that Cam? Cam, is this VeeFriends Cam? What's up, Cam? How you doing? Over on Instagram. Scrolling through the comments real quick. I know, like it's interesting to me. Social media is just interesting because a lot of these platforms, you're going so fast. You're going through. I think Instagram and TikTok are more of like a fast casual. Think about like restaurant. Instagram and TikTok are very fast casual. You're just flipping through, snacking real quick, and then moving on. But it feels like maybe Twitch and YouTube, maybe a little bit of Facebook and things like that are more spending a little more time like listening and sitting in. I see that in the data, but it's just also interesting to me. We can't really get people to, if we try something like let's link, let's link everybody from Twitter over to the TikTok. People kind of want to be where they're at, I think. And making them leave a platform kind of goes against the platform doesn't want you to leave the platform that you're on, right? So it's interesting. I'd be interested in knowing anybody that's listening with the sound on. I'd be interested in asking that question is like, why do you choose the platform that you're on right now watching this? Why did you choose to watch this on Facebook as compared to like Instagram Live? What made you choose to click it? Was it just because it was up in the live stream thing? Like, what what platform do you choose? Like, what platform do you like the best, and what made you click into the stream today? Yeah, that's the question of my moment. If you're listening, and if you're not listening, well, you're watching. So thanks for watching. I don't like this chin here, or this jaw. Dogma says, I originally saw you live on Facebook while scrolling, but then realized it was lagging and I came to TikTok. What was it about TikTok over just because it's like something that you're in a lot? TikTok tends to run smoother for me. Okay. It's interesting. We're always thinking about stuff like this on the business side of the comics, like where should we go live more? Like what's smoother? It's good to know that. It's good to know that Facebook was lagging. Maybe it's hard to say that it's lagging for some people and maybe not others. The other platforms are a couple seconds behind. Interesting. Someone said they're just on Instagram a lot. For me, it was because I just opened IG and saw that it was live. Yeah. It's the first thing you see when it's live. Yeah. Same thing for me. That's kind of how I behave too if I'm on. Although I feel kind of like sometimes, like let's talk about Instagram for a second. Sometimes when I'm on Instagram, I see someone's live and I'm afraid to join. I'm afraid to touch the live icon because I feel like I'm going to interact with them. And I'm like, I just want to watch passively. Does that? So thanks for clicking the live and popping in here to hang out for a little while. More gerbil. We got some more gerbil this week. Generous gerbil. More different. Just because it's live to see what you're doing. I like Instagram because I just get more from Instagram. Yeah, I have the view horizontal too on not vertical, just because I'm live on YouTube and things like that. But we were just talking yesterday and kind of debating, like, should we do some more like Instagram only streams and get vertical with it, like I am on TikTok right now? But I don't know. I'm thinking about it. It seems that the horizontals okay because most things get blocked by I think I'm gonna put her hand here like she's now. It'll be different. Things get blocked by all the comments and the like buttons and all that stuff. So really the center of the screen is where you're watching things. Feels like. I'm just drawing a little basic hand. A lot of cartoonists will avoid drawing hands if they can, but hands are really like expressive too. So like even just her hand being raised along with the look makes it like, oh, like, I don't know. It's just something to think about. For artists, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna stay live for till 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So we'll probably ink up these first, maybe ink and color these first two panels. I don't know. It's hard to say. They're pretty, not basic, but when I learn to draw a character and I know them pretty decent, like I feel like I get a pretty good pretty good hamster. Or, I mean, not hamster. Sorry. Different character. Gerbil. I got a pretty good beat on the gerbil. So. Somebody else asked me about drawing VeeFriends and if it's challenging because there's so many characters, and I'm like, I think that's the cool part. Keeps it less, like, not boring, but like if you're drawing the same characters over and over and over again. So, you know, being able to throw YOLO Yak in there, or like kind of like see if people get excited about, you know, their characters that they haven't seen in anything VeeFriends yet. I like to do that. And then you go like, okay, let's do a whole week of, you know, not necessarily the origin stories of the gerbil or anything like that, but the focus of the topic, kind of explore a little bit and get people to talk about it. Like, there'd be another question to like ask yourself, or I ask myself, is, you know, when was the last time I was generous just for the sake of wanting to help something? And you know, mine's kind of a bummer, but I pitched in some money for a friend's memorial and funeral stuff like that because I knew the family was kind of struggling there. I always feel kind of like it's not about just feeling bad, but it's about feeling like, you know, giving some people some relief. But it could be more than donating money. I mean, I donate a lot of my time outside of work, outside of drawing. VeeFriends, I have a brand where I talk to artists, and I spend a lot of time talking to artists, just because, like, almost like a support network. We have a little drawing club, and, you know, being an artist or trying to be an artist can be pretty solitary and lonely, and, you know, the world's kind of not built to have that as a major career or something. So it can be tough to stay motivated and encouraged. And so I always have that. Even when I'm feeling like, man, I haven't been generous lately, I'm like, well, that's not true. You know, people will remind me like, oh, I'm really helping them when I'm giving them some advice, or, you know, answering questions that they have about even art tools and things. You know, your time and your knowledge can be shared, you know, as well. It's more than just money. So if somebody said like, well, I would be more generous, but I don't have enough money, it's not about that. Like, it's not about the money. Money's great to give, for sure, but you can give other parts of yourself, for sure. I think so. It's the overarching topic of it's in the way of my shoulder. Okay, that's good. All right. Checking the comments real quick. I've been paying attention to the VeeFriends from the art side because I love to draw and paint. Lance Duet Art. What else we got going on over on? How long have I been drawing comics for? Well, professionally, probably 25 years, off and on. But how long have I been drawing comics in general? Since I was a kid, you know. Probably my first try at, you know, comic strips or something was tracing Garfield, you know, in third grade, I'd say, something like that. Maybe even earlier than that, because I remember getting a Garfield plush toy when I was in kindergarten, you know. but I don't think you realize that's what you're doing. So the realization that I was drawing comics was probably like 8 years old. Like, oh, I can draw these comics. So how long have I been doing it well? Because I can't say that I did it very well. You're gonna have years and years where you're learning. But my first regular, regular paying jobs were probably 1998. It was a big year for me. Like, it was definitely a year where I got through that. What do we call it? Kind of like paying your dues a little bit. I still wasn't very good, to be honest with you. I got to be completely honest. When I look back at those jobs that I did, they were okay, but they just weren't. I was young. I was in my 20s, and I had a lot to learn about storytelling and art and things like that. Not bad, but those were my first paying gigs. Was in my 20s, late 1990s, and worked with a lot of different writers, because that's how I got into comics. Really, was there were writers trying to break into comic books, and they needed samples drawn. So you would either pair up with a writer to draw for free, which I don't necessarily like, but there were writers out there that were like, okay, I want to be serious, and I want to I don't like this. I'm going to redo this. I don't like how that was going. There are writers that get real serious and give themselves a budget and invest in their art, invest in their careers. So they go out and they buy a nice cover artist, or they whatever, to make themselves stand out in the comic book industry. You don't need to do it like that anymore, because the internet changed all that. In the 90s, it was tougher because you didn't have internet. You had to go to shows and send samples in the mail and all that jazz. But it's still good to do, to build up your skills with whatever you're working on. Someone said long fart and pooey fart on Instagram. Thank you for letting me know. I hope you get that taken care of. Nobody wants that. Yeah, but I'm big on comics, like, of course. I'm really happy to have this as my full-time job with VeeFriends, and but I'm big on comics in general. I just think it's a big deal. I'm gonna fade out this other rough sketch. I'm just gonna go ahead and fade out that whole rough sketch. I don't really think we need it. And I want to make sure new layer for the inks. And let's just get in here and ink up this girl's face. I'll just ink these two panels for the next little bit. Dog mama's boyfriend's son enjoys drawing, but says he doesn't think he can make money with it. Well, I mean, it's not easy to make money with drawing, but there's definitely some ways to do it. It is possible. I know a lot of artists that do it, and I know a lot of artists that don't have the self-awareness to realize they're not ready yet. But if you enjoy the advice that I would give to artists, I know they don't want to hear it, is keep enjoying it, because I know so many artists that give up because they didn't make money, or like, they've got a girl, a spouse or something, or a family situation where it's like, put your dreams aside, or treat art as a hobby. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say it doesn't have to be a job. Like, if it makes you feel good, you should do it, and set some time aside to make yourself better. And if you truly enjoy it, you have to, because if it becomes a job and you don't like it, you're going to be miserable. I know artists like that too, where they got what they wished for and then they hated it. Specifically in animation, I know some animators who got jobs at like both Nickelodeon and what's the other one? Cartoon Network, working on some really big things, and they just, once it became a job, they really hated it. They were miserable, and it didn't last, because you gotta have a good vibe, whatever you're doing. It's a balance. Well, yeah, Dog Mama says this boy doesn't want to hear anything. He likes drawing the creepy stuff. That's funny. One of the first things that I drew, and I got into a lot of trouble in school, was I learned how to draw Eddie from Iron Maiden, the zombie kind of guy. I learned how to draw that over and over again when I was like 8 years old, or whatever, in 5th grade. I don't know what I did there with the eyebrow, but I was kind of digging it. All right, let's just do it. So I drew Iron Maiden over and over again, and they're like, there's something wrong with this kid. But I just liked it because it was cool, And I was a child of the 80s and 90s, so, my parents would let me go into the video store and rent any movies I wanted, that as long as it wasn't like adult movies, of course. But I would get all the horror movies from the 80s, 70s, and 80s. So I really became numb to like the scary stuff. I could draw pretty crazy stuff, and it was a different time as well. I don't think it's changed much, but if you're drawing scary skulls and stuff in the in 5th grade, yeah, you're probably going to get some attention from the principal and the teachers, especially these days. They're going to think like, oh man, is he going to become a school shooter or something? That's why I'm pretty patient with kids. I think kids go through weird periods. It's just part of life. Maybe if we were a little kinder to some kids, or they weren't like isolated for being a little weird or a little different, tell them being weird's cool. I don't know. What do I know? Just a cartoonist. Happened to me not too long ago. Someone was like, what do you think? This kid's drawing these things. What should I do? And I'm like, that's cool. I'm the wrong guy to ask. I'm the wrong dude to ask. Like, hey, DJ, the kid's drawing these really skulls and dark stuff, and we're worried about him. And I'm like, no, he's just exploring his. I mean, yeah, you might want to talk to your kids and find out what's up. But I'm like, you got to remember, pirates and things like that are cool when you're a kid. Like, right? Like Skull and Cross. Like my brand logo for Draw or Die. My other brand is called Draw or Die, and it's got a skull and crossbones, skull and pencils as its logo. Like, it's cool. It's neat. It's not like a morbid curiosity with death or anything like that. I think it's more of a, reminder. All right, I'm not going to put too much detail on her shirt there. Just going to let the color do that point. I'm tempted to put a little logo on her shirt here. Is it going to appear there? Okay, let's do it. I'm just going to, I'm not going to get too involved here. Eco kit. I don't know. It's just a stupid little logo for her shirt. Kids these days. I was just, oh man, shouldn't even talk about this on the stream. I was telling my wife yesterday, we were driving, picking up some dinner, and I said, I'm really patient with kids, teenagers, they might yell something or be rude at the park or something like that. Or, I'm just like, I just kind of smile and, whatever. Like kids mostly leave me alone, but kids are ornery sometimes, like teenagers and whatnot. And it's not like an old timer now, but I said, I deserve everything. Like if a kid threw a rock through my window, I would be mad for a minute, but then I would just be like, you know what? I deserve that. I was kind of a bad kid. We were bored. We didn't have video games or, if you had a video game, it took a lot of quarters and you had to go to the store and put the quarters in the Super Mario machine. So we just got into a lot of vandalism and stuff. Oh my gosh. So any kind of karma that comes back to me now as an adult, I'm like, yeah. It made me have a lot of empathy for kids because, like, boy, if the kids are bad these days and they're really doing some bad stuff and they got all these other things that they could have, like they might have video games, they might have whatever, you got to really ask, like, what is it? What's going on in that kid's life? Like, what's really going on? Parenting, boy, what a topic. Parents don't want to hear that they're, no one wants to be told they're a bad parent, because it's just more like you're like lazy sometimes. Like you're like, it's easier to let them do whatever it is they're doing, and it's harder to like put your foot down and say like, no. It's tough. Got all that parenting advice too, I guess. But that's how life goes, man. You have to experience things. There's no rule book for parenting either, really. You can read a million books, and what an adventure. But that's how you learn. You just gotta get through things, and just like anything in life, I guess. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it's hard. But pretty good too. So like every time I think that life is kind of sucking or wow, this really hurts, this really sucks, I just kind of dial back to know like, well, you know what, there will be better days. There's going to be a better day. Like, what am I learning from this, even though it sucks? And then you got this wisdom that you can't give away. Isn't that funny? Like you get older, I'm 48. Gary's 48. So I think Gary knows too. Like Gary, like you get to this certain age and you're like, you have to let people fail. You got to step back a little bit and let them see themselves. Because you can't be the person that's like telling people what to do all the time. You know, even though you know it's like this isn't going to work, or I see how this is going to go. You can't umbrella, helicopter parent. My goodness. What are we talking about? What am I doing? Cheers. It's comics and coffee. So here's the coffee part. Hope you're all doing well. Got some angry squirrels outside my window right now. That's what's up. Where is everybody in the world? Where are you watching from? I am just south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's where I'm at. The Netherlands. Wow. I think Andy was just in AK, our president, the Prez. I think he was just in the Netherlands, hiking or something. Central New York, what's up? How wild is it? Indianapolis, shout out to Ink Positive Indy. You can hear the squirrels? Great, on TikTok, yeah, because this mic on the iPhone picks up those squirrels outside the window. They're like screaming out there right now. Yo. Crazy. Like, ah. Sorry about the squirrels, guys. You think I live in it's cool to live where I live because I do have wildlife out there and birds and stuff. But the other morning I'm walking my dog at I wish I would have pulled my camera out. Damn it. It was so cool. It was fun. I'm walking the dog down by this church. It's 5 a.m. somewhere around there. And across this field, I see this shape hauling butt across the field. And I'm like, uh-oh, that's not a rabbit. It was a skunk. And he was doing it. He was on a mission. They run around in the morning before people get up, and I'm like, oh man, no way. He's coming right at me. He doesn't see me. The dog doesn't see the skunk yet. So I'm like, oh man, no. What am I going to do? I'm in his path. So the skunk gets to the sidewalk, and he wasn't looking up. So I went, hey, and it looked up and it stood up it kind of stood up. And it was like, what? And I'm like, no, go that way. Go that way. And the skunk kind of was like, what? What's up? And he looked back and forth a second, he was looking down the street. And then he turned around and went the way that I told him to go. And I was like, oh my God. I just had an interaction. I just had a conversation with a skunk. My son, when he was still in high school, many years ago now, he'd walk down to the bus stop early, and he would say, Dad, yo, there's a skunk. They walk down the middle of the street. I'm like, oh no, just gotta avoid them. They're really cute. So it's, it's tough. Boy. This is how these streams go. As I'm drawing, I'm thinking about things from my life too. Now we're on the skunk kick. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away in a past life, I had a dog, and the dog went out in the yard, and it got sprayed by a skunk. And the kids let the dog in the house and let him off the leash. I was so mad. The dog was running around trying to roll on the carpet to get the stink off of him. And then my entire family left. They were like, "Okay, gonna go get something to eat." And they like all left me at the house with the dog to deal with that. I was like, "What is going on?" Had to bathe the dog, and wash that dog for like 20 times. It felt like, put tomato juice on him, anything I could try, and it was terrible. The whole house smelled like skunk for like months. Clean the car, like nothing worked. Nothing worked. Philly, what's up, Lonnie? Not too far away. Love Philly. What else we got over here? What's up? Indiana. Live on all the channels right now. We're at 381 watching right now. If you're new to VeeFriends, I'm just going to reset this real quick just in case you don't know what you're watching. Just real fast though. VeeFriends.com. If you go there, you can see that it's over 280 characters created by Gary Vaynerchuk. You might know him as Gary V from the internet. There's over 280 characters. There's also some merch with all the characters on it. If you go to the character tab here on the website, it's kind of cool. We got all the characters A through Z. I don't think there's any X's. But let's just go ahead and click on like an M. And if you scroll through and you're like, oh, cool, I want to see Mojo Mouse. If you click Mojo Mouse, then Mojo Mouse will also show you his character profile a little bit, the comics that he appears in, if he's tagged correctly. Sometimes I forget to tag them right. And the you can buy merch. You can also, the really cool thing about this website is every character has a little YouTube video of Gary drawing the very first version. So the version 1 of the character looks a little bit different. I have to explain that sometimes to people because I'm like, when Gary created the characters, he just drew them in like his style, like it's real simple. And then now these are version 2 that are on the cards, trading card art with animation. Now we have the comic strips that I'm drawing. But each one of these has character stats, so like you can see how many unique owners of those collectibles from series 1. There's only 38. There's 9 out there, or well, I don't know what that means. I got that wrong. Never mind. Series 2, there's 197 owners out there. You can see how much those cost. Those are digital collectibles, NFTs. You can buy them in different backgrounds. Some of them give you utility, where you can do different things with the team, or with Gary. Honest Honeybee. Let's click him because we did a whole Honest Honeybee week. So I wonder if they're all tagged. They're not. I got to go back and redo those tags. But yeah, you can see all those. Anyways, VeeFriends is awesome. That's all you need to know. 280 character traits, over 280. This week we're talking about generosity, generous gerbil. I went a little too far into the talking about skunks today. We do have a skunk as well. We've got skunk. Come on, guys, in the chat. Tell me. What's our skunk? It's it's right on the tip of my tongue. I can see him because he was just on a sincere skunk. Sincere skunk. That was a very sincere skunk that I encountered. Now I want to do a sincere skunk week. Okay, I'm going to fill this in too. I'm going to put Looking forward to VCon's coming up. It's like August August 9th through the 11th out in Los Angeles. So that's where you're going to find a lot of the hardcore VeeFriends community. That's one of the coolest things about VeeFriends, beyond the characters and like the team, is the community, the fans, the collectors. It's a really good vibe. We're trying to like live these traits in real life, and they're doing it. It's pretty awesome to see. Okay, let's like that in. If you have a favorite VeeFriend, Ink Positivity says, I need Gary's help on this project. He would want to be a part of what I'm doing. He probably would support you in spirit. But I'll have to check it out after the stream. Ink Positivity in Indie. Ink Positivity Indie. I'm going to write it down over on Instagram. Ink Positivity Indie. Do get a lot of messages from people asking, like, hey, can you ask Gary if he wants, and I'm like, well, Gary's busy, but Gary is also very generous with his time. So if you ever meet Gary or go to one of those shows that he's at, like, he takes all the time in the world to talk and listen to people, and it's really amazing. So but it's probably I can only imagine the amount of requests and things that he gets beyond what we see. Make sure I'm on the right layer here. And that's that layer, but where's this layer? There we go. Where's that on that? Interesting. This needs to be up here. Okay. Badass Bulldog is probably my favorite because I have bullies and pits. Nice. So just favorite animal. It's kind of what we... Yeah, I can only imagine the amount of requests that must come in. It must be pretty staggering. I honestly, I told Gary the other day, I'm like, I gotta tell you, man, it's inspiring to me to see how much he does, because then it makes me realize, like, I'm doing a lot, like my time, my schedule is pretty packed. Like, I got a lot of people depending on me, and got a lot to do. But whenever I see what he's doing, I'm like, I can do more. Like, I almost feel lazy. I'm like, okay, all right. But also, I shouldn't judge myself based on that, because some people are superhuman, and I'd love to say that I want to be a superhuman too, but it takes some work. It takes some work. I can do things that Gary can't, though. So I can do like everyone has a different set of things that they can do. You know, I could sit and draw comics for 8 hours or 12. And I know that he would say, wow, I can't do that. I wish I could do that. And that's what, like me going back and saying, wow, I wish I could accomplish as much as he's accomplishing with all that he's accomplishing across all of the things. Like people seem to forget really easily because he's Gary, the entrepreneur guy, but he's also running, one of the world's biggest advertising agencies, which is incredible. How inspiring is that he built that kind of from nothing, And the stories I hear about the early days of that is just incredible. It should be very inspiring for other people to hear. So, but anything's possible if you put your mind to it, for sure. I don't think there's anyone that, I can't speak on behalf of anybody, but my feeling is that I don't think there's anyone really that he would ever say, like, I want to see that person fail. Like, I think he wants to root for everybody. And, I don't know that, I've known in the comic book world for a while, they thought people that, if you get someone that has a bigger name or something involved in your project, that it'll help it. And sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's about just finding the right people, or the right, not people, the right mindset, the right energy around your project. Somebody said it the best. I'm trying to think of how it was said. They used to say that it's all who you know. And there's a way that was reset. I forget what it was now. But it wasn't who you know. It was like, not how you know them, but it's not who you know, it's how you feel, or something like that. I don't know. It's gone now. Should have wrote it down. I'm gonna get rid of these cheap lines and just have her completely. I don't like that. No, I'm gonna change that. Too long. Too long. Right. Dog Mama said Gary would tell you not to compare yourself to anyone else. Yeah. What else is going on? Hey, what's going on? Drawing the comic strip. Thanks for watching. The VeeFriends Daily Comic Strip. You can read all the comics on VeeFriends.com now, over in the comic corner. Somebody asked. Yes, you can read the comics on VeeFriends.com now. So just go to VeeFriends.com, look to the top right. There's a VeeFriends comic corner, and all the comics are there. You can read them. They're not necessarily, you don't need to do them in order, but we've done a story week last week, and we're kind of experimenting here with themes of the week. So This week it's generosity. Last week it was 555 fan. Next week we don't know yet. I mean, I do know, but we haven't revealed next week's yet. And it's kind of a work in progress. So what we're doing behind the scenes. Another question that I got was, how far ahead are we? For the writing, we're a couple weeks ahead now, for sure. The artwork, not so much, just because schedule-wise, it takes, a little bit of time to draw the actual comics, but it's a full-time thing, for sure. It can take anywhere between 5 to 6 hours to do a daily strip, and then 10 hours or so to do the Sundays. So which is relatively fast, actually. It seems like a long time to people that don't draw comics, but oh boy, animation takes longer, and other people that draw comics are slower, for sure. It might take them 2 or 3 days to get a comic done, But I've been doing it for so long that I've gotten pretty fast at it, Try not to procrastinate or overthink it too much. We also have the comic book behind the scenes. So I've written that. I got a letter of pages now. The interior art is done on the comic book. Looks really good. Do you want to take a peek at that? Want me to show you the comic book real quick? Just to look at it, just some of the interior pieces. If you want me to, I can show you a little bit of the comic book. But you guys tell me in the chat. If not, I'll just keep drawing. And never mind you. But the comic art looks so good. It's so good. All right, let me ink this gerbil face, and then we'll take a little look at the comic book. Art. So like I said, I got to letter it. That means just basically putting the word balloons in. It's so good. The style reminds me of like Ninja Turtles or something like that. It's really good. I'm only going to show, like, I can't show too much of it. I'm just going to sneak peek it for you. A little bit of it's leaked out a little bit, and the gift goes to the ones that get the full, the full thing. Everyone will be able to read the comic, though. You'll be able to read it to some capacity. That's for sure. So don't worry. But collecting it wise, collectability of the issue 1 would be the gift goats. Get that opportunity on the issue 1. Okay, let's figure out how I want to do this here. Let's see. I'll just put it on the screen. What's the best way of doing this? What is the best? Oh, you know what? The best way of doing this is just right here on my iPad. Probably. Maybe. Let's see. Can you see this? All right. I'll zoom out real quick so you can't see any of the text. Let's see if it loads. All right, I'm going to zoom out. Zoom way out on this board, you see. It's always cool to see this big giant wall of comics that I've drawn. Pretty insane. It's an insane amount of work. You see that we try to bake pies. So, by the way, if you're on Instagram right now, we try to bake 400 likes gives us a pie. So If you're out there on Instagram, go to the comic, like the comics. I'm trying to bake pies here, guys. All right, let's zoom way out. And I've shown this before, and people like to see that. It's just kind of a concept for, this is just an idea, let's say, for what V Land or V World might look like. And then, whoa, no, let's go. I'm just going to zoom into. I'm going to zoom into this portion of the comic. So you can see here, the art's a little bit different. Let's look at that. You haven't seen that. I'm calling it the vehicle. There you go. Uh-oh. Did I freeze this board? Oh no. I think I've just frozen this board. Gotta. Let's relaunch it though, because I wanted to show you something else real quick. Are we hiring? For what? What can you do? What do you do? Zoom out. Just want to zoom in on something that's crazy over here just to show you like something neat. So if you didn't see the cover, J. Scott Campbell, did the cover. So there's the pencils from J. Scott Campbell that came in. They were rough. And then the inks looked like that. And then the final cover, which is, this has a different byline on it now, but the actual J. Scott Campbell cover is here. So very cool. So what I did was I based the story on the characters that are in this cover and actually formed a little story around it. So there you go. That's your sneak peek at the comic book. It's pretty good. Vehicle. I'm going back and forth with the artist. Chris Faison is the one that's drawing the interiors for that. He's an old friend of mine from comic book world. He's a good dude and fast and dependable and awesome. I wish I had the time to draw all of it in different styles, but I don't. So, kind of do that. We got so many cool things going on. The comics, the Moonbug show that's coming along. It's just so much. Tip of the iceberg. We also have the trading card game and the Fanatics Live, and you guys are probably aware of that. If you're not, if you're new to VeeFriends, go to VeeFriends.com. Check out everything that's going on. Yeah, I'm really excited about the comic book too. I love the comic strips. It's different. It's different. Different vibe with the comic adventure. We had to explain the difference between comic strips and comic books, and it's like, comic strips are 4-panel things like this, and you can have a story being told for sure, but comic books are more, episodic, adventure or something like that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just grab Gerbil from this comic. I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna color the Gerbil up real quick. Copy all. Just gonna hopefully quickly color these up real fast, but first I should probably, getting out of out of order here a little bit, but I'm just checking that the lines are closed before I get in and do this. I'm going to draw a little line here because his arms and legs are brown and his tail is brown. Check my messages real quick. Got a lot of messages going on. All right. Make sure I'm not missing any messages here. Good. Awesome. Anything exciting to tell us about VeeFriends? Any traction yet? Any traction yet? Well, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I can tell you that safely. You should know that there's a lot of things going on. That's all I can say. But yeah, I mean, what you can see publicly is that the Moonbug animation show's coming out. VCon's coming up. Lots of people are excited about that. Beyond the collectibles and things like that, the comics are definitely, I think, this is just DJ talking, the comics are a great vehicle to the rest of the world too. So there's a lot of good conversations happening. The comics will help open a lot of doors in different realms, you know. Not that we couldn't kick those doors open anyways, but you know what I mean, right? All right, I was closing up these borders. I know that there's a lot of people that like watch and listen to see if I'll drop some alpha or something. And I'm very careful not to do that. So try to behave myself. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Not just because it's my job, but when I say I really want people, I want people to collect, and sure, I love that people collect and make money off of it, and start businesses around it and stuff. But it's just so cool that the characters make us think about stuff that we should think about more, like generosity. We got Generous Gerbil here, and just this opportunity for parents to talk to children about these issues. Comics are great for literacy, reading, comprehension, things like that. Like, just delving more into these stories and topics is so cool. Keith says, love watching you work. It's so peaceful. Thanks. Yeah, if you're out there listening right now, I'll just take a screenshot of that. Let me know what you like about watching the streams. What do you like most about watching the drawings happen and that? Like, is there, what if we had to say like jobs to be done, like what job does VeeFriends do for you in your life? Like what, I'm on the wrong layer. I know it. I know I am. Caught it. Got it. Not today. What does VeeFriends do for you? What does the stream do for you? Like, what do you like most about chopping it, jumping in and watching for a little while? I'm always curious to hear from you, so that I can make them better too, what would you like to see more of? Would you like to see it more often? Would you like, what do you want? What do you like to watch? But specifically, what is it about what we're doing here with the comic streams that you like? I don't want to leave that question. I'm gonna leave it open like that. But if you're listening, I'd love to hear your thought about why you tune in. And if you're I won't go any further than that. I've heard a lot of different things. And I like to hear from a lot of different people about why they like to watch. And it really does help think about future content and what we can do better. You know, if you're hating the comics and you're watching this, I want to know too. Like, I don't, I fully subscribe to that whole, I really appreciate everybody watching, but I also fully subscribe to the idea that I don't let, I'm glad that people like it, but I don't let the cheers or the jeers bother me. Right. My mission as a cartoonist and a storyteller is to make the best comics and make VeeFriends into like the biggest thing in the world. The characters, everything. It'll take time, but turn off that pencil layer so I can see these faces. Okay, great. She's gonna be white lady there. Okay. A lot of people listen with the sound off, so understood. You might not hear what I'm asking. That's one thing about, oops, what is going on here? All right, cool. It's one thing about the streams too, is like, for a while there I was doing like these secret streams where I'm still doing like a block of a couple hours worth of work, but I'm just putting it on a different, channel and going live. Like, there's the potential of just not talking as much, but keeping music on, and just, if you're just jumping in and out watching a comic come together live, if that's something that you would watch like all day, like check in and check out, like check in the progress, what channels would be good to be live on, like that kind of stuff. That's what I'm thinking for that. An airplane's about to crash into my house. Dakota Lane, or Dakota, sorry, I forgot. Dakota, well, sorry, I forgot your name wrong. It's real tiny on my screen there that I'm looking at. How is AI imagery technology changing this industry? Are we talking about comics? It's definitely changing. I wouldn't say AI is changing comics per se, but I see it as personally, I see it as kind of a nice tool. I wouldn't have the AI drawing things for me, but I definitely can use ChatGPT to research and dive into things like that. Or it can actually read the comic strips and find patterns. So if I actually put the image in and say, hey, read this comic and let me know how it matches with this thing. Like, there's a lot of cool things we can do with AI for development. But I wouldn't put my eggs 1,000% into the creativity basket there for artists. It's a very controversial, it's a very controversial topic for a lot of artists. And definitely it's something that I don't 1,000% agree with, how the models are trained on other people's art and things like that. I get it. Like, that's going to be going on for years. But I think, what it doesn't change for what I'm doing here is the human element. So it might be able to make an animation of the gerbil and like just do all that work, which is cool. But to actually have an animator or an artist sitting here talking to you while I'm making it and listening to you and not just putting it in a machine, I think that's the future. That's my opinion, is AI is just a tool, but the future is just being more human and interacting with people more and having more conversations. And um, how can we reach each other? How can we use these tools to like talk to each other more? Right? That's kind of my vibe with all these tools. How can we use live streams to talk to each other more? How can I share what I'm doing? Gary would say like all the time, document your process, stuff like that. Are we doing a good enough job at documenting our process at VeeFriends? I don't know that to be true. I think we could do a lot more. We know this. But there's a lot going on for sure behind the scenes. So I think about it personally. For me, the cartoonist, I'm like, could I do more beyond being on a live stream? Could I do more documentation of what I'm doing somehow? Like, could I read the comics a different way every day? Like, what if I did a green screen video where I'm reading the comic or expounding on it just for a minute or a couple seconds? Like, hey, did you read today's comics? When was the last time you were generous? Did you know that generosity isn't just about money? You can give your time, blah, 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 blah. Right? Like, I see myself making that type of content. But my primary job is making the comics and the characters. But I really want to do more. Like, I want to see more of everything. We will real soon. So Zen over on YouTube said, I love how this vision brings back all the great life lessons from my childhood. IP cartoons, all of that. Yep. Keith over on X said, the community overall is why I'm involved. VFam is awesome. Specifically for your stream, I love the way you create and enjoy seeing how you use Procreate. Your music is very calming. I guess my calming voice and perspective on life are why the sound is up. I really enjoy it. Thanks, Keith. Sometimes I worry about that because I'm like, it's early in the morning and I'm like, do I have anything smart to say today? I don't know. I'm just going to riff whatever's going on in my brain. Luckily I've got enough life experience where I can talk about something. I mean, even if I'm just like expounding on having a conversation with that skunk down the street the other morning while I was walking my dog. That's something that an AI is never going to tell you. Or maybe it would just make it up and lie to you. But it's not very authentic. So, okay, cool. We got the highlights. Sweet. The coloring looks very vivid. Yeah, it looks okay. Actually, on the screen now that I'm looking at it, it looks better. I fixed some stuff. I won't get too technical on you guys, but I fixed a couple things. Although this coloring here is not that yellow. So yeah, it's not the color matching on the iPad to the actual stream doesn't really work that well. But we have to deal with it. Just is what it is. When I draw the characters, this is for other artists out there, I always think in like 3 color tones. So like I want to have a shadow, a mid-tone, a highlight of every single color. So I do that by, some artists will, the shortcut is like grabbing a purple, the color purple, or like a light blue for your shadow and just going over the whole thing on a different layer. I don't like to do that. What I like to do is I pick the mid-tone like that, pick it, and then I go to the color wheel and I go about 45 degrees this way or 45 degrees that way to find the highlight for that color, right? And then I'll hit it up. That's the highlight for that one. I like to keep the colors natural. It just pops better to me than being like, wow, why is that? Why is the shadow on that thing a little dirty looking? It's because somebody, an artist just grabbed the color purple and like did like a quick tone on it. But that's not how light really works. If that makes sense. So, anyways, artistic preference there. That's how I like to do it. Now, if I already have selected that tone, I might grab it from something I already previously did, so I don't got to do that 45-degree trick every time. But that's how I do the coloring of each one. I'm just thinking like, light bounces off the top, coming down wherever the light source is, and the shadow falls on the other side of it. Sometimes light bounces off like a little, when you're drawing, you're the one that's molding it, where's the light coming from? Maybe it's just bouncing a little bit off his shoulder there. A little bit right there. You don't want to overdo it. It's just very subtle. But it makes them more animated, I guess. Right. Put a little highlight on his belly. Just a little ding, dink. Yeah, thanks for watching today. We're 10:30. I'm gonna go for a little bit longer. I want to make a 2 hours. 2 hours of power. Let's get in here and work on her a little bit. Same thing. I'm gonna just grab that. Go 45 down. That'll be the shadow on her eye. It'll look better on the actual finished comic. I'm gonna put that shadow underneath her hairline, just because like the color matching is way better on the screen to grab it. Good. Even like there's a little shadow underneath that, a little bit underneath there, outside. There's probably light coming from her computer screen up, right? So keep that in mind. Usually when I just do the white pupils like that, a boring face, if they're bored, just gonna grab like a quick lipstick color there, clean up that piece of her lip there a little bit weird. Why not? Let's throw some 45 degrees up. Give her a little, so subtle, but makes a difference. It does. Same thing, 45 degrees up. If I can't go to 45 degrees, I just gotta get as close to white as possible. Usually hit the nose, forehead, maybe above the eye, maybe depending on the shape of her face. You can't even see that on the stream right now, I know. Unless you're watching on the TikTok stream, is a little bit less bright. Let's see. If I get rid of this light. Nope. Which light is really bright? Oh, there we go. Let's turn that one off. It's a little bit better. What color hair should she have? I think we got, he's brown. And we could do something weird. We could give her like purple hair. And I've been doing that occasionally. I don't know if I'll do that. It looks all right. Let's do it. Let's give her purple hair. I worked with a couple girls that constantly had blue hair or purple hair or bright pink hair all the time. Very modern. Not too worried about the detail of the headphone, like I don't want to get too nuts about that. Although I might hit it with a little bit of highlight there. Why not? Just a little bit. And then this would be the opposite. I'm gonna usually the muff thing is a little bit like put a little texture there, you know. Pretty cool. Yeah. Hey, thanks for watching over on Instagram. Yeah, Procreate is lit. With me over on Instagram said that. Love Procreate. Love it. Love all you guys for watching. Thanks. 557 watching right now across the spectrum of channels. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch. We're live on. I'm accidentally live on. Oh, I'm accidentally live on VCon. Listen, VCon YouTube channel. I'm very sorry that I'm live on your channel. I must have clicked it accidentally. So we've done an accidental live on the VCon Comics Live. Sorry. That's my mistake. But guess what? VCon is coming up real soon. And there's probably a good chance that I'll be drawing comics there live. I just saw that right now. I saw the little VCon. Oh. Is there anyone watching from the VCon channel? Hey, shout out. Say hello in the chat right now. Whatever channel you're in watching. Say it. Say what's up. Say hello. Say where you're from. Say your favorite VeeFriend. Say what's up. Give me some likes or whatever. At the very end. I'm muff drawing, right? I knew my architecture class said that over on Instagram. As soon as I said the word muff, I was like, oh no. Gotta get our minds out the gutter. Yeah, wherever you're watching from, if you're listening, say what's up. What's up, Keith? I'm going right to 2 hours and then I'm going to end this stream. So I just want to say what's up. If you have any questions about VeeFriends or anything like that, now's the time to just throw them out there. I'm probably not going to be able to answer them because it's a lot of stuff is, we can't talk about, but I'm down to chat. If you keep me here talking, I'll keep talking. At least until my next meeting. Right. Oh, wrong thing. Let's give her like a pink. This fake logo for EcoKit. Would you like to buy an EcoKit home garden today? There probably is a real brand called EcoKit. So free plug for them. Accidentally, I don't know, it's not intentional. Right. I'm ready for Raccoon to get all of his glory. The Raccoon is elite. Yes. Speaking of raccoons and wildlife in my area, I have not seen raccoons around in a while. They're very reclusive little fellas. If they are out there, they're staying away from us humans. Maybe smart. Maybe a smart thing to do. Those raccoons know what's up. They're just like, get away. Just stay away from humans, man. All right. Right on. Okay, a little bit more shading on this shirt here, and I don't want to overdo it too much, just a little bit. Right there to separate the lines. She's got like this really terrible shirt on that they make her wear, even though she's in a call center. Shout out to you if you've had a job like this. Yeah. Oh, okay, good. Got it. Yeah, I appreciate you watching. I'll be back Friday. 8:30 a.m. the same time. All channels except for the VCon channel. I'm sorry about that, VCon. You know, my bad. It's a lot. I mean, at least I didn't go live on Gary's channels. I could do that too with a little click. I'm like, whoops. Oh man. Oh man. So that means if you're watching, no, I'm not on Instagram, am I? No, no, just YouTube, just YouTube. VCon's awesome though. I hope to see some of you there. Start saving your money. I saw some people saying they can't afford it, but start saving some money up. There's ways to. It's worth it, man. I would say there's two conventions in my life that I think are the best conventions, and that's VCon now is one of them for sure. I'd pay to go to that. I get a free ticket now, probably, unless they make me pay. No, I'm gonna get in there. But I go to Vid Summit every year too, so that's like Mr. Beast's convention. Just because I have so many good YouTube friends there, YouTube creator friends, and the vibe at both of those conferences is just so good because like it's not like other conferences where people don't talk to each other. Like the speakers are out there talking to everybody, and the community is good, and just everyone's trying to help each other. That's the vibe inside of the VeeFriends world too, and it's very similar at Vid Summit. I like going to Vid Summit and just chilling. Like I don't even necessarily go to the talks at Vid Summit because you can replay the talks and things. Like I'll support my friends if they're doing a speech there or something. I'll go to their talk, but I think the greatest thing is just being amongst the community. I learned so much more just hanging out by like a fire in the evening with people, hanging out, getting to know them, getting to know. I could ask them anything really, like helping me with my YouTube channel and without even asking, just getting to know people. Call a lot of them friends now. When the first time I went to a convention like that, I didn't know anyone, and I was like all by myself. And the people that I met that first time at Vid Summit, I still know today, and I know even better. They were just, and that's how I try to be when I'm at shows or something. So like I try to, if I see someone sitting by themselves or something like that, I'm gonna say what's up, because I've been on the other side of that, where you feel kind of like an outsider or something like that. But everybody's just people, everybody's out there trying, I won't say everybody's struggling. It's just everybody's trying. Everybody's trying to be a part of something, and so try to facilitate that as much as we can. And everybody's on that journey looking for something a little bit deeper. For me, I just love drawing comics, man. I want to draw the best comics and tell the best stories that we possibly can to help people, entertain you, make you laugh, make you chill, whatever. That's my joy. Pretty simple. I like an occasional beverage, coffee or something. I love talking to people about their dreams and stuff. Try not to bore people with that. Like, when I used to meet people for the first time, I used to ask them, like, what did you want to be when you were a kid? Like, when you were a little kid, what did you want to grow up? I want to grow up and be a fireman or an astronaut, or sometimes it was totally ridiculous. Like, like it was something that was just so like not real that you couldn't do. You know, like I want to go to Mars. Well, now it's like completely like it's a possibility. Crazy. Okay, I'm past 2 hours now. To get my time in, I gotta jump to another meeting in a minute. Something else I'll say about VeeFriends is, I worked at other jobs before, and I got to not to like. I don't like meetings like that, but with the VeeFriends team, I like meeting with everybody, even the boring. Even if it's a boring kind of meeting that I'm not too involved with, I like being around everybody. So don't add me to all your meetings, though. I'm just saying, but I don't mind popping in and being like, "Hey, it's good to see you." You know, good to hear what's going on and what's up. All right, cool. Well, that's the stream, guys. Thanks for watching, and appreciate you. Come back, drop a like or whatever on your way out. I appreciate that. We're gonna head on out of here. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Hope you come back Friday. And TikTok, you're over here. TikTok's right here, guys. If you're watching on this is a TikTok. This is what I'm looking at right now. So that's the TikTok view. TikTok's right in there. Say hello to TikTok people. Not many on TikTok. There's 4 right now. So thanks for watching over on TikTok. I'll be back on Friday. I'm DJ. Thanks for watching reading the comics. Please go like the comics and share the comics. And sorry for being live on the VCon YouTube channel. I apologize. I clicked the wrong icon there, but you know what? VCon's awesome. So get yourselves to VCon as well. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. I'm going to go tell the team that I was accidentally live on VCon YouTube.